Good morning, students. Welcome to the class. Read the question. The bond order of individual carbon bond in benzene is. This is the structure of benzene. Between carbon and carbon, you can find double bond here. Between this carbon and carbon, you can find single bond. Double bond is indicating bond order is 2. Single bond is indicating bond order is 1. So in the case of benzene, there is alternative double bonds and single bonds. That's why between carbon and carbon in benzene, the bond order is going to be between 1 and 2. Next question. In which of the following molecules is the covalent bond is more polar or most polar? To become most polar, between the two bonded atoms, the electronegativity difference must be more. Suppose in all these options, if I take HCl, hydrogen is having partial positive charge, chlorine is having partial negative charge, and among all these molecules, the atom that is the chlorine is having more electronegativity. While it is bonded to less electronegative atom, the bond is going to be more polar. So the answer is HCl is having more polar covalent bond. Next question. Among the following compounds, which has a dipole moment? Which has a dipole moment means mu is not equal to 0. Here, mu should be not equal to 0. For asymmetric molecules, mu is not equal to 0. For symmetric molecules, mu is equal to 0. So here, CCl4, this is a structure carbon tetrachloride. This is a symmetrical molecule, because if you rotate these bonds, you will get the same geometry, and the angle, bond angle is same between all the bonds. The bond angle is same. Like that, in benzene also, by rotating the bonds, you will get the same geometry, and it is a symmetrical molecule. Dipole moment becomes equal to 0. In the case of BF3 also, it is a symmetrical molecule. Dipole moment becomes equal to 0. So these three, CCl4, C6H6, and BF3, these are the examples of non-polar molecules. Non-polar molecules means mu becomes equal to 0. Whereas if you take HF, hydrogen single bond fluorine, fluorine has more electronegativity. So fluorine contains partial negative charge, hydrogen contains partial positive charge. So among all the molecules given here, HF is a polar molecule, mu becomes not equal to 0. That means it has some dipole moment. Next question. Which of the following is least ionic? Already in the last class, we discussed about this ionic character. So if you observe all these examples given here, BaCl2, this is a second year group element bonded with a seventh year group element. KCl, first year group element bonded with a seventh year group element. Whenever highly electropositive element bonded with highly electronegative element, that compounds are ionic in nature. So KCl and BaCl2 are ionic in nature. Whereas coming to this one, C6H5, NH3 plus Cl minus. Here you can see positive charge and negative charge. Between the positive and negative charge, electrostatic force of attraction will be there. This compound is also ionic. So which one is least ionic means C2H5Cl. Of course, the C2H5Cl is an organic compound and it is not containing any charge. So that's why this compound C2H5Cl is going to be more covalent, means less ionic in nature. Next question. The number of antibonding electron pairs in O2 2 minus molecular ion on the basis of MOT. O2 2 minus ion. Before going to know the O2 2 minus ion, first I am going to know about O2 molecule. According to molecular orbital theory, the electronic configuration of O2 molecule is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y1, sigma star 2p z0. This is for O2 molecule. But in our given question, O2 2 minus is given. That means we have to add 2 more electrons. So the next electron is added to pi star 2p x orbital, and the next electron is added to pi star 2p y orbital. Now we can write the electronic configuration as pi star 2p x2, pi star 2p y2, sigma star 2p z0. This is the electronic configuration for O2 2 minus ion. So the complete electronic configuration of O2 2 minus ion is sigma 1 s2 sigma star 1 s2 sigma 2 s2 sigma star 2 s2 sigma 2p z2 pi 2p x2 pi 2p y2 pi star 2p x2 pi star 2p y2 sigma star 2p z 0. Yes, once again go through the question. The number of anti-bonding electron pairs, number of anti-bonding electron pairs in O2 minus. Anti-bonding electron pairs, anti-bonding electron pairs, just if you observe this star here, this orbital is indicating anti-bonding molecular orbital. Here also this is the molecular orbital, anti-bonding molecular orbital. This is the anti-bonding molecular orbital. This is the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Here one pair is there in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Here second pair is there. Here third pair is there. Here fourth pair is there. So O2 minus is going to contain how many electron pairs in anti-bonding molecular orbitals? Means 4 electron pairs. One is in sigma 1s2, sorry, sigma star 1s2. Second is in sigma star 2s2. Third is in pi star 2px2. The fourth one is in pi star 2py2. And one more thing, my dear students, regarding MOT, you studied about N2 molecule and its species, N2 plus N2 minus, and O2 molecule and its species, that is O2 plus O2 minus. Here is O2 2 minus. Of course, regarding H2 also, the concept of MOT is very, very important. Please practice more MCQs on this concept. Next question. Most effective overlapping is. To know about the effectiveness of overlapping of orbitals, first you have to know about the shape of the orbitals. S orbitals are spherical in shape, p orbitals are dumbbell in shape, d orbitals are double dumbbell in shape, f orbitals are complex in shape. If you go for s orbitals are non-directional, whereas p orbitals are directional. So here only about s orbitals and p orbitals is given. So among the s and p orbitals, which one is directional? P orbital is directional. So the overlapping between the one p orbital to another p orbital is more with compared to overlapping between s orbital and p orbitals. So like that, if you check the options where the p orbitals are more, sp3 orbital contain more percentage of p orbital character. Here again sp3 orbital contain more percentage of p orbital character. That's why the extent of overlapping is more between one sp3 hybrid orbital to another sp3 hybrid orbital. And regarding the overlapping, here the data is given. Once go through this data and once check this one. This is all about coaxial overlapping. pp orbitals extent of overlapping is more than the extent of sp overlapping is more than the extent of ss overlapping. So where the overlapping is very less, ss overlapping is very poor because s orbitals are non-directional. p orbital is dumbbell in shape. That's why the extent of overlapping is more between p orbital to p orbital. But one condition you have to observe, px orbital, see this one. Suppose if it is considered as the px orbital, this is also considered as the px orbital. So both are present along the same axis. That is called as coaxial overlapping. When the two orbitals are present along the same axis, they are going to overlap. That overlapping is called as coaxial overlapping. So to have the coaxial overlapping, the given two orbitals must be in the same plane. Then only they can undergo coaxial overlapping, right? So this is all about overlapping of orbitals. Next question. IF5 has the following hybridization. IF5, see this structure: iodine, single bond fluorine, 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 and central atom iodine is having one lone pair. These are the bond pairs. How many bond pairs are there here? 5 bond pairs are there. In IF5, the central atom iodine is having 5 bond pairs and one lone pair. So total electron pairs are 6 electron pairs. Whenever 6 electron pairs are there in the valency shell of any central atom in a molecule, then that undergoes sp3d2 hybridization. If it is sp3d2 hybridization, the geometry should be octahedral. But in this case, IF5 is having square pyramidal geometry because of the presence of one lone pair. Of course, here the geometry is not asked, only it is about hybridization. Total, the iodine central atom is having 6 electron pairs. That's why we can say that the central atom is undergoing sp3d2 hybridization. So the answer is option A. See the next question. Antibonding molecular orbital. MO means molecular orbital. Antibonding molecular orbital is formed by. Yes, to understand this question, here I gave some diagrammatic representations. This is from your NCERT textbook itself, class 11 chemistry, volume 1 NCERT textbook. The chapter name is chemical bonding, right? See this one. This is the explanation for formation of H2 molecule. Sorry, is it H2? Yes, this is H2 molecule. Here you can see 1s1. Here one electron is there in the 1s orbital. Here also one electron is there in the 1s orbital. This is the atomic orbital of one atom. This is the atomic orbital of second atom. When the atomic orbitals are going to overlap, this is a one atomic orbital of one hydrogen atom. This is one atomic orbital of second hydrogen atom. When the atomic orbitals are going to overlap with each other, they result in the formation of molecular orbitals. How many atomic orbitals are overlapping here? Two atomic orbitals are overlapping. That's why they give two molecular orbitals. One is going to be the bonding molecular orbital. Second one is going to be the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So first it is the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Next it is the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. How they are going to be formed? Yes, to understand this one, suppose in this hydrogen atom, if I'm going to take one electron, according to de Broglie, electron is having dual nature. Electron can revolve like a particle in a circular path. Electron can revolve like a wave around the nucleus. Suppose when the electron is considered as a wave, see this path. This is a path. Which path it is? Electron wave. This path is known as the electron wave. So whenever a wave is considered, that electron wave is going to have both positive path as well as negative path. Here you can observe psi A is indicating this is the atomic orbital of one hydrogen atom having one electron. Psi B is indicating atomic orbital of second hydrogen atom having one electron. When this atomic orbital and this atomic orbital having same paths are going to overlap, that is resulting in the formation of molecular orbital, bonding molecular orbital. So we can write sigma bonding molecular orbital. That is due to addition of one atomic orbital with another atomic orbital having the same phase. Whenever atomic orbitals having different phases are going to overlap, that result in the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. So here you can see psi A minus psi B. Here minus is indicating it is not the mathematical function. Here minus is indicating opposite phase containing atomic orbital is going to overlap. Here psi A is indicating one electron of one hydrogen atom having positive path, suppose, and psi B is indicating electron of second hydrogen atom having a opposite phase when they are going to overlap with each other. That is resulting in the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. So instead of all these things, simply we can say that anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed due to subtraction of atomic orbitals. See this one, psi A minus psi B is indicating subtraction of atomic orbitals. Psi A plus psi B is indicating addition of atomic orbitals. So addition of atomic orbitals result in the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Subtraction of atomic orbitals result in the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. This is very, very, very important concept, my dear students. Once please check it in your NCERT textbook. Next question. The bond order of O2 minus is. Yes, once again, I'm going to explain the electronic configuration of O2 molecule based on molecular orbital theory. Sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y1, sigma star 2p z0. This is for O2 molecule. But the given species is O2 minus, means we have to add one more electron. Where we have to add? The one more electron is added in pi star anti-bonding molecular orbital. Then pi star 2p x1 becomes as pi star 2p x2. Remaining is as it is. So the electronic configuration of O2 minus is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x2. Here pi star 2p x1 becomes as pi star 2p x2 because one more electron is added. Next remaining is same, pi star 2p y1, sigma star 2p z0. And for your easy understanding, I marked the anti-bonding molecular orbitals with red color, and the black color is indicating bonding molecular orbitals. So simply you can calculate the bond order in O2 minus. The formula is half into NB, stands for number of electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Na stands for number of electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So the formula bond order is equal to half into NB minus Na. That is equal to half into 10. What is this 10? Here 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Here 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Here also 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Here 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Here 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. So total electrons in bonding molecular orbitals are 10. Remaining 7. What is the 7? 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Next 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Next 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Next 1 electron is in anti-bonding molecular orbital. So number of electrons in antibonding molecular orbital in O2 minus is 7. Number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital is 10. So by calculating this one, we'll get the answer is 1.5. Just it is a constant value. Never it will get changed. Never it will get changed. So this type of questions are simply known as memory based questions. So simply you can remember the bond order of O2 minus is 1.5. Otherwise, this is the complete calculation. You can calculate once again. Next question. In O3, there are O3 means ozone. See the structure of ozone. This is the Lewis dot structure of ozone. In this Lewis dot structure, if you observe the central atom is having here 1 sigma bond, 1 pi bond. Here 1 sigma bond. So how many sigma bonds are there at central atom? 2 sigma bonds. And this is 1 pi bond. This is 1 lone pair. We are discussing only about the central atom of ozone. So then you can say that 2 sigma bond pairs are there. 1 pi bond pair is there. 1 lone pair is there. So the answer is option D. Next question. Which is most viscous? In the states of matter chapter, you studied about viscosity of liquids. Between the liquid molecules, if the attractions are stronger, then the liquid is said to be more viscous. Between the liquid molecules, if the attraction is weaker, that liquid is said to be less viscous. Suppose if you go for the option C, CH2OH, single bond CH2OH. This compound is called as ethylene glycol. In this compound, you can observe OH groups. 2 OH groups are there. The OH groups can form intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Whenever the intermolecular hydrogen bonding increases, the attractions between the ethylene glycol molecules get increases. Hence, the viscosity get increases. Viscosity means resistance to flow. Once again, viscosity means resistance to flow. So which one is more viscous means any liquid having stronger attractions between the liquid molecules, that liquid is said to be more viscous. Generally, hydrogen bond containing liquids are more viscous in nature. Next question. The boiling point of heavy water is. All of us know water. What is the formula of water? H2O. H2O, the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. Heavy water formula is D2O. Here D stands for deuterium. See this one, D stands for deuterium, or it is called as heavy hydrogen. That is represented as H2. Protium is represented as H11. This one, protium is represented as H11. Deuterium is represented as H12. Here, mass of the isotope of hydrogen is increased. Whenever the mass increases, the physical properties increases. So as a result, we can say that H2O is having 100 degrees Celsius of boiling point, whereas D2O is going to have more than 100 degrees Celsius, but very close to 100 degrees Celsius. Then the value is 101.4 degrees Celsius. Next question. Fluorine molecule is formed by. Fluorine molecule. What is the electronic configuration of fluorine atom? 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. If you observe the 2p5, px orbital is having paired electrons, py orbital is having paired electrons, pz orbital is having unpaired electron. Pz orbital. What is the shape of p orbital? The shape of p orbital is a dumbbell in shape. So first I am taking one fluorine atom, pz orbital having one unpaired electron. Next I am taking second fluorine atom, pz orbital having one unpaired electron. Pz and pz orbitals both are having same axis. They are said to be coaxial. When the orbitals are in coaxial, they are going to overlap, result in the formation of sigma bond. See this one. This is the coaxial overlapping of pz orbital of first fluorine atom with pz orbital of second fluorine atom. Then we will get a sigma bond. That sigma bond is said to be pz sigma bond. That is the formation of F2 molecule. So in the fluorine formation, in the fluorine molecule formation, what is happening? Coaxial overlapping of p orbitals is happening. The answer is option A. Next question. The correct order of bond angles in the molecules H2O, NH3, CH4, and CO2 is. Yes, here you can observe the molecules H2O. This is a H2O molecule, NH3 molecule, CH4 molecule, CO2 molecule. In H2O molecule, the central atom oxygen is going to contain 2 lone pairs. In ammonia molecule, central atom nitrogen is going to contain 1 lone pair. In methane molecule, central atom carbon is going to contain no lone pairs. I'm taking only these 3 first of all. Here oxygen is having 2 lone pairs, nitrogen is having 1 lone pair, methane is having, carbon is having no lone pairs. If any molecule is there in which central atom with more number of lone pairs, then such molecules are going to have less bond angles. That's why water is going to have less bond angle, that is 104.45 minutes. Whereas in the case of ammonia, the bond angle is 107.8 degrees. In the case of methane, the bond angle is 109.5 degrees. Whereas in CO2, it is a linear molecule. Bond angle is 180 degrees. So which one is having the least boiling point? Tell me which one is having the least boiling point? Which molecule is having least boiling point? Water molecule is having a least boiling point. Next ammonia molecule. Next methane molecule. Next the CO2 molecule. So what should be the answer? What should be the answer? CO2 is greater than, CH4 is greater than, NH3 is greater than H2O. So the answer is option E. Of course, here you are seeing the question from Kerala PMT test. Yes, coming to the next question. Which of the following arrangement of molecules is correct on the basis of their dipole moments? Here, the concept is a dipole moment. We know symmetrical molecules are having zero dipole moment. Among BF3, NF3, NH3, BF3 is a symmetrical molecule. Dipole moment is zero. Yes, here you can observe the structures. See this one, BF3. Boron, single bond fluorine, boron, single bond fluorine, single bond fluorine. Here, the dipole moment of boron fluorine is working towards fluorine. Here, the dipole moment of boron fluorine working towards fluorine. Here, the dipole moment of boron fluorine working towards the fluorine. These two dipole moments, net dipole moment is working in this direction. Here, the dipole moment is working in this direction. These two dipole moments are getting nullified or cancelled. So net dipole moment becomes equal to 0. So simply we can say that BF3 is a non-polar molecule because it is a symmetrical molecule. Whereas in the case of NH3 and NF3, in the case of NH3 and NF3, nitrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, that is NH3, nitrogen having one lone pair here, NF3, nitrogen, single bond fluorine, single bond fluorine, single bond fluorine. Here, nitrogen is having one lone pair. So here, all the dipole moments in NH3 is working towards upward direction. In the case of NF3, this dipole moment, this dipole moment, this dipole moment is working in downward direction. Here, the dipole moment is working in upward direction. Here, little bit nullification of dipole moment takes place with compared to NH3. So among NH3 and NF3, NH3 is having more dipole moment, whereas NF3 is having less dipole moment and BF3 is having zero dipole moment. Then what is your answer? Which molecule is having more dipole moment? NH3 is having more dipole moment than NF3. NF3 is having more dipole moment than BF3. Very important model. Please practice remaining MCQs on dipole moment. Next question. The boiling point of paranitrophenol is greater than that of orthonitrophenol because paranitrophenol, orthonitrophenol. Yes, on the screen you are seeing benzene ring. This is a benzene ring having single bond OH. This is called as phenol. This position, second position of a substituted benzene is called as ortho position. The ortho position is having NO2 group. So the compound is named as orthonitrophenol. This oxygen is having partial negative charge, hydrogen is having partial positive charge. Here oxygen is having partial negative charge. Between these two atoms, hydrogen atom and here oxygen atom, what is going to arise? Intramolecular hydrogen bonding is going to arise. Whereas in the case of paranitrophenol, see the paranitrophenol here. First of all, benzene ring having single bond OH, phenol. This fourth position is called as para position. Para position having nitro group, paranitrophenol. This is also paranitrophenol. Two molecules I'm going to take. But the second molecule is taken in a flipped manner, right? Or inverted manner for my convenient. Now, here you can observe formation of hydrogen bonding between the molecules. The formation of hydrogen bonding between the molecules, this is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Whenever intermolecular hydrogen bonding increases, the attraction between the molecules increases. Once again, when the intermolecular hydrogen bonding increases between the molecules. Here you can see this is the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. This is the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. As the number of intermolecular hydrogen bondings increases between the molecules, the association of molecules is going to take place. As a result, molar mass of the compound going to be increased abnormally. In the second year syllabus, we will study about the abnormal molar mass. So because of the abnormality in the molar mass of paranitrophenol is going to have higher boiling point, whereas orthonitrophenol is going to have lesser boiling point. This is because of presence of intramolecular hydrogen bonding in orthonitrophenol and presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding in paranitrophenol. Once check the answer for the given question. Once again, the question, the boiling point of paranitrophenol is greater than that of orthonitrophenol because there is intermolecular hydrogen bondings in paranitrophenol and intramolecular hydrogen bondings in orthonitrophenol. Even in the second year also, we'll study about this one in the chapter alcohols, phenols, and ethers. Yes, coming to the next question. Which of the following compounds shows ionic, covalent, and coordinate covalent bonds? All the three types of chemical bonds, that is ionic, covalent, and coordinate covalent bonds. Where it is possible means I'm taking the option B, CuSO4.5H2O. This is called as copper sulfate pentahydrate. In the second year, transition elements, that is D block elements, there you are going to study about this molecule. Of course, in the complex compounds chapter also, you will study about CuSO4.5H2O, copper sulfate pentahydrate. That can be represented like this. Cu is surrounded with 5 H2O groups. This is H2O group, H2O group, H2O group, H2O group, H2O group. Oxygen containing lone pair is donated towards the vacant orbitals of copper. That's why it is going to be pentahydrated, and copper is going to exist in +2 oxidation state. And sulfate ion, SO4 2 minus. So between plus ion to minus ion, there is a ionic bond. And between oxygen atom to hydrogen atom in water molecule, covalent bonds are there. Between water molecule to copper, coordinate covalent bonds. The coordinate covalent bonds are called as dative bonds. So how many types of bondings are there? Ionic bonding is there between this complex ion to, this is a complete complex ion, right? Between complex ion to sulfate ion, ionic bonding is there. And in the water molecule itself, between oxygen and hydrogen, covalent bonds are there. Between water molecule to central metal ion, coordinate covalent bonds are there. So the question is, which of the following compound shows ionic, covalent, and coordinate covalent bonds? The answer is CuSO4.5H2O, known as copper sulfate pentahydrate. In the second year complex compounds chapter, again we will study about this molecule. Please remember CuSO4.5H2O. Next question. Which of the following has sp3 hybridization of central atom? Yes, I'm taking the option A, XeO3, xenon trioxide. Xe double bond O, double bond O, double bond O. Oxygen is a divalent, means oxygen can form 2 bonds. So that's why I'm taking a double bond oxygen, double bond oxygen, double bond oxygen. Xenon belongs to 18th group. Xenon valency must contain 8 electrons. Here, 6 electrons are involved in the bond formation. Remaining 2 electrons exist as a one pair, lone pair. Now you can observe the valency shell of xenon in the molecule is going to have 3 sigma bond pairs. Here, this is the first sigma bond pair, second sigma bond pair, third sigma bond pair. So xenon is having 3 sigma bond pairs and 1 lone pair. Total electron pairs are 4 electron pairs. Then you can say that in XeO3, the central atom xenon undergoes sp3 hybridization. If it is sp3 hybridization, the geometry of the molecule should be tetrahedral. But because of the presence of 1 lone pair, the geometry of XeO3 is going to be pyramidal in shape, right? Next question. Shape of ClO3 minus is. This is the shape of ClO3 minus. Chlorine belongs to 17th group element. Its valency must contain 7 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 3 oxygen atoms are there. 1 oxygen atom with a double bond, second oxygen with a double bond, third oxygen with single bond. Here, how many sigma bonds are there for chlorine? This is 1 sigma bond, second sigma bond, third sigma bond. So ClO3 minus, the central atom chlorine is going to contain 3 sigma bond pairs as well as 1 lone pair. Total electron pairs are 4. 4 is indicating that sp3 hybridization. If it is sp3 hybridization, the geometry should be tetrahedral, but here the geometry is going to be triangular pyramidal, right? According to Vesper theory. Once check the Vesper theory. Next question. Sidewise overlap of p orbitals forms. This is one p orbital. This is one p orbital. When these two are undergoing sidewise overlapping, that result in the formation of pi bond. Next question. Main axis of diatomic molecule is Z. The orbitals px and py overlap to form. Px orbital, py orbital are overlapping. Is it possible? Px orbital, this is the lobe of the orbital. The lobe of the orbital is lying along the x-axis. This is the py orbital. Lobe of the orbital is lying along the p, that is a y-axis. Once again, the lobe of the orbital is lying along the y-axis. X-axis and y-axis, they are perpendicular to each other. As a result, between px orbital to py orbital, no overlapping takes place. If there is no overlapping takes place, no bond is going to be formed. So the orbitals px and py overlaps to form nothing. That is, no bond will be formed because the given two orbitals are perpendicular to each other. No overlapping is possible. No bond is possible. Next question. Yes, which pair among the following is isostructural? Isostructural. What are isostructural? Very simple. If you go for option A, XeF2 and IF2 minus. Simple logic. F2 here F2 both are common. Xenon valency contain 8 electrons. Iodine valency contains 7 electrons. But here minus is there that contain 8 electrons. So XeF2 and IF2 minus both are going to have same number of electrons. The species having same number of electrons are said to be isoelectronic. Isoelectronic species are having isostructural. So the answer is option A. XeF2 and IF2 minus are isostructural. So this is all about today's class. In my next video lectures, I will explain all the remaining MCQs. The only thing is you have to watch the video till the end. After that, you have to write down the notes. Then you have to practice more MCQs from your material. That's it for today's class. Thank you one and all. Stay home, stay safe. Have a nice day. This is your chemistry lecturer, Sesdar Naidu, signing off.